Welcome to the Ages of Rock podcast with your hosts, Bill Algie, Dennis Talbot, and Alan Tate. We are three guys who have one thing in common, a love of rock and roll. Our goal is to talk about all things rock. We hope you find this show intriguing, funny, and occasionally highly opinionated. Enjoy! Hey folks, welcome to episode number 386 of the Ages of Rock podcast. Look, I got it right on the first try.
Wow.
I must have got some good sleep last night.
We should stop now.
Yes, thank you. agesofrock.com, social media.
Quit while you're ahead.
Quit
we're
while
out
you're
here.
ahead. Yes. We really don't have a lot to talk about this week. Is this kind of concert reviews and catching up. And I have a topic to bring up after we do some concert reviews, or we can bring the topic up first. Whatever y'all want to do.
Whatever you want to do, man.
Yep.
Well,
You're
I saw a
flying
post
this
on Facebook that Paul Stanley said that they were not opposed to doing one-off shows.
I saw that.
And of course, that immediately set the naysayers off.
On fire. Everybody's on fire.
Just like when the original four did their farewell tour, Gene specifically said this is the last time you'll see Gene, Paul, Ace, and Peter on stage together. And to date, that has been a fact.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You've seen three of the four of them on stage together, but never all four since.
Right.
And, even when they announced the end of the road tour, I almost said end of the world tour again. But even when they announced the end of the road tour, they said, we're done touring. That doesn't mean we won't do a one-off show here or there somewhere, and I said before, there's festivals to do, there's TV appearances,
Yep.
So don't be surprised if they don't come back and do something like that.
Well, they still have the Kiss cruise, right?
No.
No.
Oh, they're not going to do that. Okay.
It
No.
ended,
You're
it
going
ended
to
last year.
Monsters. You're
I'm
going to
going on the
Monsters of
Monsters
Rock.
of Rock
That's right.
cruise,
That's right.
yeah.
I got that confused. I didn't know if they were going to still continue that and then, maybe just do it.
There was talk at one point about them doing another Kiss cruise and them being on the cruise, but them not
Right.
performing.
Gotcha. That's what
So,
maybe that's what I got confused on.
By the time I got around to going to Kiss cruises, they really weren't like Kiss cruises when they originally started. So,
Sure.
the novelty of a Kiss cruise, I guess, has worn off for the members of Kiss.
Right.
And they're like, how little can we do for these people, but still give us all this money? So
Cash grab.
Sounds like the
yeah.
the normal Kiss machine, how it works.
But I mean, Gene's staying busy. I mean, he's out there, doing his shows.
Yeah, well,
And
we'll be
they're
seeing,
actually they're fun to watch. I've watched a few of them on YouTube.
yeah, some of us will be
and
seeing one of them shows, in May?
I believe it's May. Yeah, it's the first
Yeah.
show for the Beaver
Beaver
Dam.
Dam Amphitheater.
Yeah.
I've never
You say
been
it was-
there.
You say it was the first show for the Beaver?
Beaver Dam. It's our
You said-
openings.
You said
for
the Beav.
well,
You said the Beaver at first. Then you said Beaver Dam.
It's
What
the
a-
first show for the damn Beaver.
a damn beaver. Bill, are you going to that? Or are you not sure?
I don't know. My anniversary is like right around that same time. I
That's
don't know if we
right.
have plans before that or not. So we haven't decided. And I've seen Gene. I don't know
Yeah,
how many
I've
times.
never seen one of his solo shows, so that's going to be interesting for me.
Well, that's a choice you've made, by the way.
Yeah, right. I know. Well, it's always been something. No, it's always been something coming up. When you guys went to Indy,
Work.
I had Foo Fighters. I had Foo Fighter tickets that night.
Foo Fighters, work.
Yeah.
I
You
don't
won't be
know.
seeing that for a while. So. Davis went in hiding. He's not doing
Yeah.
nothing right now.
Let's fuck around and find out.
Yeah, I mean literally.
Oh, yeah. Now, I'm going to go back to something here. Speaking of cash grabs, I don't watch sports. We all know that.
Okay. Yeah.
We know where this is going.
Yeah,
The Mike Tyson thing.
Jesus.
Yeah. Complete
wait.
cash grab.
That guess who made out on that? Mike Tyson and what's his name? Jake Paul.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guess who stayed up really, really late to see a really, really lame fight.
Well,
Tell you what,
I will say that I think that they must have been running the fight on a different Netflix server or something, because Laura and I, there's a couple of series that we watch on Netflix,
Mhm.
and we were watching our regular series Friday night, and we never had
Well,
any buffer or anything.
yeah, I think
So,
that was a live event. I mean, it
yeah,
was a live event. I think that was the difference,
right.
Right.
which is going to be a problem because on Christmas Day, they have 2 NFL games.
Right. We got
On
Steelers
Netflix?
One,
game. Yeah.
yep, for the first time ever. And they better get that shit right because the NFL will can that in a heartbeat.
Right.
NFL's probably trying to figure out now how they can get out of that contract.
They are probably going, welcome to the shit show. Here we go. And
Yeah.
yeah,
Yes,
Why
please
not?
sign this FAFO.
I
yeah.
turned it on right when the beginning of the second to last fight that featherweight girl
The
fight,
women.
which
Yeah.
was fucking brutal.
Well, it
Man,
wasn't
I
hardly
saw
a
a
girl.
picture of that one girl. Her
that
eyes
girl,
busted.
well, that girl she was from Scotland, I believe, and
Yeah.
she's been known to be a headbutter, and she
Yeah.
headbutted her about 3 or 4 times. She got
Yeah.
warned. They actually deducted a point from her, but she clocked that chick right in the head. I mean, she had a gaping ass. I mean, it looked nasty, dude.
It
But I'll
was
tell you what,
probably 2 inches and
oh, it was
yeah,
huge. And that, but I tell you what,
it's
man, them
probably about
girls,
2 inches.
right?
And
Yeah,
just want to make sure I got my
yeah, get your
That's right.
spec right. But no,
make sure
they
you're looking
was,
at this on a great big screen too when you're watching
yeah,
it. So,
no, it
2 inches
was
is fair.
that was a brutal fight, and them girls, they were going to it, boy. I mean, really, it was a lot more entertaining than the Tyson fight. I mean, it's just, man, he come out there even to get his shirt. I mean, he looks. I can't believe how old
He looks 58.
He's 58 years
yeah,
old. God damn.
He looks 58. What do
but
they,
I'm
what do you expect
59.
him to
I'm
look like?
59,
Now,
and
I'm going
I
to
don't.
say something else. When, you saw him from the backside, he looks 58 there too.
Right.
His ass is dragging.
Yeah. Yeah. He was huffing and puffing, and he was not. It was pretty pathetic. I mean,
Yeah.
he kind of just did this, and kind of, and
Well,
those gloves.
even
Wearing those,
I don't watch fighting or anything,
right.
but it was obvious just from the clips that I saw that it was, you know, this was a total WWE or wrestling
Yeah.
or fake bullshit
I don't even know
because
if I.
they showed him training,
Yeah.
in the weeks before, and the
Mhm.
videos of him training, he was relentless,
Right.
so I,
Well, it's easy to be relentless when you have nobody that's putting up anything against you
Right.
and
Yeah.
not popping you in the head. And he
true.
got a couple good licks in on him. That's
Yeah.
I mean,
Right.
well, I think Jake Paul got a couple of pretty good licks in on
Yeah.
on
Well,
Tyson that
like-
eight when he was 18 or when back in the day. I do believe that back in the day, Mike Tyson would have knocked his ass out
Yeah.
if it had been back in the day.
But
But it wasn't
first
back in the
round,
day.
first round, he'd have been.
Yeah, it wouldn't have
he'd
been back. But
he'd
it
have-
wasn't, and
Right,
it was a money grab for everybody. We all knew that.
Right.
It was just I think people watched it for the
the novelty.
novelty. Yeah, exactly. the novelty
Yeah.
of seeing it.
Like
And-
I said, I don't follow sports, and the
Yeah, I
clips that
don't.
I saw, obviously, I didn't watch the whole fight, so I don't know what kind of punches got thrown. But the clips that I always saw, Tyson didn't look like he was putting hardly anything into it. So
No, he wasn't. He was basically just protecting his face and just kind of just counting his money in his head. Well, I just
every
made
hit I
another.
get is $1 million.
he was fighting as hard as he could.
We're gonna get in trouble.
Well,
making
I
fun.
watched it just to see. I'm not
He's
a.
gonna
I'm
show
not
up
a
at our
sports.
door.
I'm
I
not a
heard the way he
sports
was
guy
listening
or
about me.
or a boxing guy either. But I watched it just to see Mike Tyson, just to see him. I wanted to see him
Yeah.
beat the dog shit out of that guy.
I will have
was
to say
very
some of the
disappointed.
memes that I saw after that were pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're funny.
One of them was they offered him $100 million to push George Foreman down the steps.
I saw. He said it. What was it? The one I saw today. It was.
There was one about Jimmy Carter.
Yeah. That he
Yeah.
now said he wants to
Oh,
fight Jimmy
geez.
Carter.
Yeah.
Of that he's gonna go on. He's gonna take on Babe Ruth in a hitting contest.
It's terrible.
It is bad. Anyway.
All right. Real quick here. I don't know the guy's name, but we have a listener in Mayfield, Kentucky that I want to give a shout out to. Laura and I went to a gathering last night, and a guy that I know from down that way was like, "Hey, my buddy down in Mayfield listens to your guys' show regularly," and he was all excited about it. So I just wanted to give that guy a shout out and
Good.
shoot me an email, alan@agesofrock.com. I'd like to say hi to you.
Cool.
Nice. Mayfield,
Yeah.
Kentucky. Where's Mayfield, Kentucky at?
It's in
Kind of.
Kentucky.
I had a friend of mine in college that was from Mayfield, but
Nice.
I believe that it may be down somewhere in the Paducah area,
I
that
think it is. I
that
think it is.
Okay.
that section of Kentucky.
Well, that guy might be careful. He may just show up at his house one day.
We
You never
might.
know. All three
That's
of us
right.
just go down there and just. We only got, that's the one person, so we'll take it.
Yeah.
Well, I know
Not
there's a
true.
bar
It's
down
not true.
there that some of my friends go and play at, so
Oh,
we can all have a shindig down there.
there you go. In a bar.
All right, let's talk
Sounds good.
concerts or something.
Okay. Which one
Sounds
you?
good.
I've been to one. I finally got to go to one. So
Who
we
did you who did you go see?
so anyway, I have missed every opportunity since the early 80s of seeing Night Ranger. And for some reason
Wow.
I'm out of town or something's going on. We're on vacation and they were just at down at Beaver Dam here, what, last year, the year before, and Kelly and I we were going on. That's when we went to France actually, and they were. So anyway, finally, they were coming to Evansville, and I'm like, I'm gonna go see them. So we had friends of ours, and actually got some free tickets, and went and seen them. They were by themselves, no opener, and it was absolutely a fantastic show. I have, like I said, my expectations were way over than what and they performed. They were great. None of this lip syncing bullshit. They were actually playing these guys. Jack Blades is 70 years old. Drummer, he's 71. Brad Gillis is 68. Guys are running around the stage like they're 20s, and it was, and the musicianship for those guys were incredible. Of course, Jeff Watson's not been with them for years, but they got Kerry Kelly, who played with Alice Cooper in that position. I think he said that he said he's been playing with him, what, 15 years, I think, or something like that.
Yeah, he's been
So
playing with them for a
he's
while.
been with him for a long time. And
Yeah, he's younger than I am.
yeah, we went to, I looked it up on the setlist.fm and was looking at the set list, and pretty well they've been playing the same set list except for that show. They said it was their third night in a row, 3 night run, and said we're going to have some fun tonight. And they did. They did a half of a Damn Yankee song before the one that they did, the acoustic song. And then they added, when they were talking, introducing the group, Kerry Kelly, they said, hey, this, he played with Alice Cooper for a long time, which I actually saw him at the center playing with Eric Singer with Alice Cooper years. And I think you were there too that night.
Yeah, that's the time that I took my dad,
Right.
and it took Ian and Eric
Right.
Singer come down and gave Ian a pair of drumsticks.
That's right. And but anyway, he was saying that, and Jack was like, "Let's have some fun. Let's play an Alice Cooper song." So they played "School's Out," which was abbreviated, but a good version of that.
Mhm.
Then, of course, Brad got up, and they introduced Brad, and he said, "Yeah, he played with Ozzy." So he took about 5 minutes, told the whole story of when Sharon called him for that gig and how he went to New York and tried out for him and all this shit, and then they ended up playing Crazy Train, and I mean, it was amazing.
Now,
Brad,
don't
Brad,
forget that he was
okay.
also talking about the the tour manager for Ozzy
Yes, yes,
back
yes.
then was tour managing for Jelly Roll, who was in
Right.
town the next
The
night.
next night, and so he was talking to him, so there was connection there. But I mean, even it was one point there toward the end of the show, Kelly was like, she looked at me and she goes, "That guy is a really good guitar player." And I said, "Yes, he is."
Yep.
Brad was on fire, dude. I mean, he even because he does all those, all that whammy bar crap, and the sounds, during his lead
Yeah.
stuff. And I mean, he nailed every. I mean, I
Yeah.
didn't hear one mistake that whole night. Of course, they've been playing those same songs for 40 years, but it's you get good at it after a while.
That doesn't stop me from making mistakes.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But I
How
had
did how
heard
did
some. Go ahead.
how did Kelly Kagi sound when he was singing?
I that's what I was worried about because I had watched some YouTube videos here, and there's been some nights he had some rough nights.
Mm-hmm.
He actually did really good.
Good.
Sister Christian was a
Good for
little
him.
off at the end of the night, just a tad, but the other songs, shit, I was very impressed. For a 71-year-old guy, he did a damn good job. And like I said, Blade's voice was on fire. I mean, at the beginning it was a little. He was just, always that first song was a little rough. It seems like. But I know Alan or no Brian Harris was sitting behind me, and then Alan was
We were
sitting
sitting
behind, almost in the
we
very
were
back.
sitting at orchestra level in the very back row, and
Right,
I was almost dead center.
right.
You know,
And Brian
so
mentioned it was muddy sounding.
well, from my point of view, I couldn't hear the bass hardly at all.
Really,
And I did not like the sound of Keys or Keggy, however you pronounces his
sure.
name. I did not like the sound of his microphone. Yeah.
That was I got a little bit of that too, where it was a little muffled. But they might do that just to cover his voice in case he does have some
I
issues.
don't know.
Maybe.
Well, it looked like that might have been an SM7B microphone.
Oh,
And
okay,
how many people really sing live with one of those?
it's true, true.
You know?
But my friend Mike was sitting farther closer to the stage than I was, and
Yeah.
was on the other side of the room, and he said the sound was pretty decent over there. I think the room just sometimes. And I had a friend of mine who went. They were down on front, and they said the guy they were sitting next to had BO so bad he couldn't stand it, so they went upstairs and was sitting on the balcony. The
Mhm.
first balcony right in the front row said there was nobody up there anyway. So
Yeah.
they went there and said the sound was real good up there. So,
Yeah. I've always, when we've set up in the balcony,
right.
I've always thought it sounded good up there. So,
Yeah. Well, because you're kind of
yeah.
you're in line with the hanging speakers. You're kind
Yeah.
of right there. I saw Styx there when he did the play the two albums, front to back.
Mhm.
And Mike and I sit there very center, first row, and the sound was really good there. So
Yeah.
yeah, it was what it was. But I was really, really, and it was they played basically almost two. It was started at 7:30, was done at 9:30. One band got home by 10:15. It was a really good show. And the people that went with us had never seen him also.
Well, that was my
And
first time seeing them all the way through. Because
and
when we went with my friend Mike and his girlfriend Dina, and Mike and I had actually gone to see Night Ranger and Journey and Foreigner several years ago up at Deer Creek.
mm,
And of course, when there's a show with that many people on the bill, they always start before everybody gets in.
sure.
So by the time we got there, they were finishing up,
Right.
the last couple of songs. And
Plus, you would have got an abbreviated.
my
You know,
beef about Night Ranger is they should have done Sister Christian before Don't Tell Me You Love Me.
right.
They
That's
did
kind of
them in
an
the
odd
wrong
song.
order, damn it.
That's kind of the wrong. And they didn't.
And
It,
Why
I'm
was it?
just joking.
So,
I'm just joking. It really doesn't matter.
oh,
But usually a band, when they end the night with, kind of a get you pumped.
sure.
yeah.
Unless you're the Eagles, and then you end with Desperado, and everybody falls asleep in the.
Well, it's because everybody going to see the Eagles is 95 years old. So,
The one song that they didn't play that I wanted to hear was "Touch of Madness." They didn't play that,
They
and I
did
really.
pull a couple of deep cuts out,
But they
though.
did. They did. I'm not bitching because
Yeah.
they did play some deep cuts and stuff. But I would have did one less damn Yankee song and played.
Yeah, I would like to
know,
have heard, or drop the Crazy Train and
sure.
drop Schools Out and throw,
Right.
Eddie's Coming Out, or a couple other deeper cuts in
Right.
there. But all in all, it was a great show.
It was a good
Yeah.
show and it was well done. And they look like they were having a blast. That what makes the show
Jack
really
sure looked
good.
like he was having fun. I don't
Even
know.
all of them. I
I
think
don't know
all
what
of
they
them
put in
were.
his chocolate milk, but it had him hyped up.
But he did. They were all interacting with each other and and stuff. And then the drum solo was fun. I liked that a lot too. I thought
Mm,
they all come out there. They had everybody playing on the one set, and just doing different things. And it was really cool.
that was even
And
better back when Grand Funk would come to Evansville. They would always do this drum stuff,
right.
and everybody would get some kind of percussion equipment. And they'd always give Bruce Kulick a tambourine. But when the drum solo first started, I was like, man, I think I'm gonna go pee.
Right.
And then somebody come out and started banging on some of the other toms.
Sure.
And then here comes Blades out and he's banging on something,
Right.
But I was like, this is actually really fucking cool.
Yeah. I enjoyed it. It made it
I-
interesting.
it sounds like the
But,
show. I mean, I saw that show either late last year or earlier this year. I can't remember,
right.
but sounds like the same show.
Sure.
They basically. I don't think they did. I remember Brad talked about the other guy talking about Alice Cooper and stuff like that. But and I know that Brad talked about playing an Ozzy, but it was pretty short, and they didn't play any. They didn't
Right.
play any of their stuff because I think they were opening, so you get the condensed version.
Yeah.
I went back through
Yeah,
the set
it's good.
list. I went back like maybe 5 shows And none of those shows had those extra songs in it, so that was just something they did for Evansville. But it was cool. I enjoy
It's
shit
pretty
like
neat.
that. It
It's
is.
nice when they do that at a venue like that versus doing it. When
in a big city.
they're in LA, they
Sure.
always do it or whatever, where
Right.
they're
Yeah.
trying to
Yeah, they
kind
were
of
just
makes
they were in
things
a
a little
good
bit
mood
special.
that night. Seemed
Yeah,
like and
good,
everything, so a good deal. So
good.
so anyway, that was it was positive. I hadn't seen a show in a long time, and it was good to see a good show. So I enjoyed it. But anyway,
You got to get your priorities straight, pal.
I know. But I do have on my end, I do have, like I said, we're gonna go see Gene and is it May or whatever it is. And Brian Harris had some tickets, so I bought one. I think Alan's going, so I'm gonna probably
Yeah.
hook up with you guys and get down there. And then I do have in February, I'm going to Indianapolis to Lucas Oil to see um, um, Billy Joel and Sting, which I'm really looking forward to that. I think I'm more excited about Sting, I think, than I am Billy Joel, to be honest.
Hey,
I hope.
I can dig that.
Yeah, I hope.
We're gonna go to Nashville and see Sugarland in December.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Yeah.
Where's that at?
Are they headlining there, or is it
Uh,
the show? Is it the
I
show at Little Big Town?
that sounds right.
Okay, I
Brian
saw that.
Harris will tell us
Yeah.
because we're going with Brian.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Is
yeah.
that
Brian and I have talked about it a little bit. Yeah,
is that at
Yeah,
Bridgestone?
I think so.
I bet
Yeah.
it's the the tour.
That sounds right. Sugarland
Yeah.
and Little Poon Town.
Little Big Town.
I take it that's a country band. I don't know.
Those are country artists.
Yes, they are country artists.
Yeah.
The week before we saw Night Ranger, Laura and I went to the Ford Center here in Evansville and saw Zach Top. Let me get his name correct.
Never heard
Zach
of that.
Top, Ian Munsick, and Laney Wilson.
Hmm.
And
Oh.
if you like late '80s, early '90s country, you will like Zach Top. And then the Ian Munsick, that dude's from like Wyoming, and he's straight out of Yellowstone. That dude dressed like the Yellowstone guys. He acts like the Yellowstone guys. His opening song was called Barn Burner, and that was a good song to open with
Hmm.
because it's like she broke my heart and her barn burned down.
What was weird
Sounds
was,
like a country song to me.
He did a couple of songs. He's got one called Cowboy Killer, and Laura really liked that one. And I think it's just because the way he was wiggling his hips.
Oh,
eye candy.
Yeah. So,
But what
I
was
tried
weird
that, and I
was,
think I dislocated my hip.
did you by chance? I mean, I didn't hear anything about that Jelly Roll concert. I was like, they said Jelly Roll was in town tomorrow at the Ford Center, and I'm like, he is? I mean, I never heard it advertised or anything. I guess they don't need to.
Do you listen to local
you
radio
don't
or
listen to
anything
local
like that?
country radio,
That's
so
true.
you wouldn't
That's
know
true.
anything about it.
Well, I do. I listened to 90. Was it the one out of Kentucky? I listened to that station.
93.9.
Yeah, I listened to
Yeah,
that.
well, they don't play Jelly Roll, so
Right, exactly. So I guess
Yeah.
that's why I do. But,
But,
you see it on Facebook or something because they
well,
actually the Night Ranger they
think
advertise that a
about
lot.
this though. The people that we follow on Facebook tend to be more rock and roll than
True,
the type of music that Jelly Roll plays.
that's true.
And that's not saying he doesn't do rock and roll because he does rock and country.
Right,
he does.
I think a lot of our feed is based on that
Right.
ancient crap that we still listen to.
The good stuff. All right, Bill, did you go see some stuff too?
Yeah, I did. So as we were talking just a few minutes ago,
Okay.
we did go to see Little Big Town and Sugarland, and it was. I'm a huge Sugarland fan, have been for a long time, and Jennifer Nettles sounds incredible. And I wish it would have been flipped. I wish it would have been Little Big Town opening for Sugarland, but it wasn't. But it was a great show. So, Alan, you're gonna have a great time. It was a good show, man. And then we went to see 38 Special last week here at the Brown County Music Center. Which is a really good show. It was just them again, one of those kind of things where just them.
I like that.
Which is kind of nice. They don't have all the original members, but Don Barnes, who's the original vocalist and wrote most of the stuff, is with them. He did really well. Near the end, you could tell he was struggling a little bit. They did a way too long guitar solo for the lead guitar player, in my opinion. And it was longer than a minute, so it was too long. Anyway, But I think that was just a rest period because where it kind of was in the show. I think it was kind of, and I get it. I mean, I'm not stupid.
Right.
I know how the thing works, how that stuff works. But overall, it was a really good show. And we ended up, I bought the wrong tickets. I thought I bought tickets that were 3 rows in front or 4 rows in front of the soundboard, and I bought tickets in the 4th row.
Wow.
Period. So it's like right dead center. I was like,
right.
Oh shit.
That's not bad.
Those are good
We got in
seats.
there. We got in there nice. As soon as we got in and we're walking down the aisle, I turned right and I'm like, Lisa goes, no, our seats are down here. And I'm like, no, they're not. And she like that. I'm like, oh shit, I bought the wrong seats. So, oh well. Anyway,
So that guy is. So he has to be how old you think the singer? Good dude.
he's the same age as everybody else. I mean,
38,
he's the same age.
70, probably 70 or so.
Probably close.
Yeah, because they were 30 Special was touring when I was in high school. Like they've been
right. Yeah.
they've been out forever. So that's cool.
Yeah.
I've never seen those guys either. I'd like to see them sometime
because they were. That was the last time Bon Jovi opened for anybody was in Evansville, Indiana, opening for 38 Special.
Wow,
which is the first time I saw them at Robert Stadium.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, and I've seen them once or twice before that. I mean, since then, they're both good shows.
Right.
And then Friday night, we were just locally. There's a little playhouse, maybe holds a couple hundred, 300, 400, 500 people. I don't know, something like that. Not a big joint. They have some tribute bands come in periodically, stuff like that. So they had Crush, which is Bon Jovi's experiment or whatever they call it. I don't know. Experience. The Bon Jovi experience or something like that. And we have seen them before up in Franklin. They have a summer festival thing they do up there, and they played up there a couple of years ago. They're really good.
Is that the one that the John Bon Jovi dude is like 7 foot tall?
He's pretty tall.
Yeah, I think he was here at Casey's Time Out several years ago when my sound company used to work there.
Yeah, he's pretty tall. He's got his hair cut really pretty short, but it's it's kind of like the John is now look. Yeah, he does a real good
Granny
job.
John.
Actually, he sounds a hell of a lot better than John does.
Guarantee.
I can tell you that. Right
I think I could sound better than John Bon Jovi.
But they did like
I will give John credit for trying.
Sure.
For sure.
And to have enough fortitude to say, look, we can't do this anymore.
Right.
Well, if you watch that video, I mean, if you watch the documentary that he did,
was very good.
Very good. Well, in the documentary, he talks about, I realized last night I can't do this anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And they showed a clip of him singing. That was in Indianapolis, and we were at that show.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And I could tell you, he should have stopped then, and that it did, because I think he did a couple more shows after that. But when he said looking back at watching things on that show, it was he just it's just part of life, right? Things happen, and it's unfortunate because people get Bon Jovi, you love Bon Jovi or people don't like them or whatever. But a lot of fun songs. So that was a lot of fun. There was interesting. There was a lady and down in the front row. She probably had to be in her 70s for sure, just freaking out. I mean, she was skinny and, she was like into everything. And it was, you could hear her. I mean, she's like, "Wow!" She's screaming bloody murder there. And you could hear it like it was so funny.
That's what it's about, though.
Yeah. Hey, have a great time. That's what you're here for. People are, somebody next to me was like, made a comment about, man, she's into it. And I'm like, damn Skippy.
That's like that guy that we saw. There were 2 songs when we went and saw John Waite at the Victory. And there was this guy down on almost, he might have been in the front row. But I mean, he jumped up and he was headbanging like I had never seen in my life. I thought he was going to hit his head on a chair at one point. But I'm like, that's how you have fun at a concert right there.
Exactly. That's awesome. John, that time, it was probably about the same time at Indianapolis show. He was at Nashville at Bridgestone, and they posted some video from that. And I had some friends actually who were down there for that show, and they said it was just, they left, said it was that bad.
Well,
we talked about it. We got free tickets. Otherwise we wouldn't have went. Because I'd already seen video and there was like, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
Right.
That's when Laura and I went and saw him at Bridgestone back in 2018. I had never seen Bon Jovi, so I was really pumped.
Right.
And then as soon as it started, we were both like, "What?" I thought he had bronchitis or something.
He did permanently.
Yeah. Every day.
Unfortunately. I mean, it's unfortunate, but it
It
happens.
is. It is.
Yeah,
It's happened to a lot of people.
yeah.
Yep.
And shout out to Steven Tyler of Aerosmith.
Yep.
Knowing that he really can't cut it.
No.
A one-off song here or there is fine, but on the road for several nights,
It's
No way.
too hard to do.
It's just it's just part of life. It's just it's like just the way it is.
Like we
But
talked
then you
about with
get
Mike
Mick
Tyson.
Jagger. That motherfucker is 874 years old
I know.
and still
But
gets
he
up
doesn't-
there.
He
But
doesn't
he
really
doesn't sing in that.
though.
He doesn't sing in that register, though.
But he can
No.
still get around and shake his ass like he's 20.
Yeah.
I'm telling you,
Drugs are good.
Nope. But I'm telling you, when those guys come off stage, they almost have to be carried off,
Right.
especially Mick. And I can tell you, I know that for a fact
You synced it with your own eyes.
from somebody very close to me that was an assistant for them.
Right.
Mm.
That it is when they come off, it is
Yeah. Get
not
the
pretty.
wheelchairs out.
It is close to that.
That's why their tour is a 25-date tour and it takes 3 months to get through.
That's exactly right. They do a show and they rest for 5 days.
Yeah.
They do a show and they rest for
It takes
5
them that long to count the money.
Speaking of old people taking a long time to count money, there's rumors that there's going to be an AC/DC tour coming in 2025.
I don't like to be teased. I'm not one of those kind of people that like to be
Well,
teased. So I keep watching it, but
Well, they mentioned it that the Pretty Reckless are going to be opening because they actually had a picture of them standing with this girl, from
yeah,
the
but
Pretty
I
Reckless.
think that announcement wasn't supposed to be made yet.
Oh, okay.
that had a date. That had a date on it
There
from
was
Minneapolis, and
Yeah,
it's not happened. Not went on sale yet.
Wow.
yeah. So
I'll tell
that
you what, man.
that date
Angus
popped up
looks
and like
young.
almost
Or
immediately it
old.
was gone.
Jeez. Yeah, that picture.
Until everybody grabbed it. So
That picture with that was taken with that girl. It's like you look at him, and it's like, man, Angus. He looks.
Oh my
He looks
gosh.
so old.
well,
I mean,
Angus
God.
is somebody's grandfather, great grandfather.
Great-grandfather. But yeah, he's and well, I think it's just that white hair is what throws me off. It's kind of like with Brian May when he let his hair quit. When he quit
Quit buying it.
dyeing it and just let it go in that white frizzy. I mean, he kind of looks like something out of like Doc out of Back to the Future. Got that fucking. I had heard he had a stroke, but I haven't heard anything since then.
Yeah, that's all I ever heard.
Yeah, I know he had he had a stroke of some sort, but I have never heard that they're playing again or if he's playable, if he can still play or what. I don't know.
Oh,
Anyway, it'd be interesting to see.
yeah.
Yeah, you can have a stroke and not have any
Sure.
capacities from it. I mean,
Right.
not which is
Right.
Not it happens.
Well, my
I don't
father-in-law, he had a minor stroke. The first one was, the second one got him, but the first one, he really didn't have anything issues from it. It was just
Yeah, my buddy Jay had one years ago, and
right.
I mean he's on meds and stuff for it, but he's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
So
Anyway,
I don't. What else do we have? Are we going to talk about? I don't
don't
really
know.
have anything else.
I haven't bought any records. I haven't.
I did.
Bill bought a record.
I bought a couple records actually. I bought hang on. Okay, talk amongst yourselves for
Yeah,
just
I
a second.
did buy. I do have a disc coming. Marvelous 3 they're doing some one-off shows again this year, but last year they filmed some of their shows and you could watch them on live pay-per-view
Yeah,
kind of
I
deal.
remember that.
Well, they put a disc out now that's kind of like first they had like autograph ones and they went like that. They went quick. They said, well, okay, we're going to make another batch of them, but we're not going to be autographed. And it's like $20. So I ordered one. So they're coming out here soon. But I like to have it on disc because I did watch it whenever it came out. And because I bought the album. If you bought the album, you could watch the show for like 7 days, you can pull it up on this site, whatever. But I did order that. But I hadn't seen it yet. Go ahead,
Yeah,
Bill.
so I bought.
Move your microphone.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
You can't hear my Adam's apple.
No. It's like one of them things you're going like that.
We're all going to hell.
I bought the James Taylor CD. So I did. So we were in where were we? We were in Florida. I don't know. The kids had to go to Target for some reason, so we ran to Target, and I always go to I always go to the record aisle, not the record aisle, but I go to the clearance aisle and just see what's on the clearance stuff. So I picked up Van Halen 1984 for like $12. And I picked up James Taylor Greatest Hits for like $12. So I'm like, yep, those will ride home with no problem. Yeah. But I know this is kind of silly, but I did it anyway. I like Steel Panther. I think they're a pretty cool band. And I think it's a lot of fun. And their first album had an anniversary edition that came out, and I purchased that, and it's due, like, it's coming any day now.
That's cool.
I can say in a Steel Panther way,
right?
They should be coming any day now.
Does that have a Girl from Oklahoma on it?
I don't remember.
I love that song. I like those guys. I mean, it's all tongue in cheek, you know.
Oh, absolutely.
They're coming to Indy. The only place they've had their tongues.
Tongue in a butt cheek, maybe. but no, I just like the concept. It's just so funny. And the thing is, they're great musicians. You know.
Yeah.
I kind of hate it now that Lexi's not in there, because he was the funniest person. If you watch some of those ones, they did some where they were
always putting hairspray in his hair, looking.
He had like a little Barbie thing set up, and but no, they were.
If you ever saw him,
dumb guy, go ahead.
If you ever saw him live, he had a makeup stand.
Right there in front of the stage.
That's right. We saw him with Judas Priest.
Yeah. But no,
I might go see him. They're going to be in Indianapolis in a couple of weeks, and I've been kind of tossing it around.
I'd love to see it. I like to see him.
You ain't going to go though.
No,
I'm not going to go because it's got to be on a Wednesday. The sun's got to be out. It's got to be at like 4.
If it was closer
in a Philharmonic theater, some bullshit with you anymore. Who knows? I can't even keep track of it. I give up.
And they are fun. They're a fun band to go see. They're humorous. Cool. That's about it for me.
I have anything else.
I'm kind of
trying to think if there's anything else.
We're all looking around like a bunch of idiots.
I'm looking at stuff in my room to see if there's anything I've gotten recently that I need to share, but I don't see anything.
I bought my 4th bass guitar.
Oh, that is cool, man.
Very cool. I bought a Schecter Omen Extreme 5.
I don't know what it means, but it looks badass.
5 means it has 5 strings.
Okay.
Omen Extreme is the model of the Schecter brand.
Yeah, I like the color of it. It's cool.
Yes.
It's pretty.
And I named it Fanny. Big fat Fanny, such a naughty nanny. Fat bottom girl.
Yep.
See what I did there?
I did.
Oh, I know the other show that I was going to. They just announced here coming to the Brown County Playhouse, or not Playhouse. The Music Center is going to be Slaughter and Great White.
That'd be good.
Yeah, so I might pick up that show because that'll be.
Yeah, if you happen to run into Mark, say, "Hey, thanks for coming on our show," like he told us he was going to 5 years ago, fucker.
He was on. Well, Mark Slaughter. Oh no, I may ask Mark too. Why didn't we go out there? We talked about whipping Vinny's ass at that thing too, and we never got around to it.
Yeah.
What is up? By the way, let's just spend a second on Vinny.
Oh, geez. Okay, go ahead.
Does he actually? It amazes me that as a human being, he actually believes somebody gives a shit about what he's got going on, and I am shocked.
There are some people though that
are
follow
just dying to buy that piece of shit.
He put something. They posted something here a while back, and it was unlistenable.
He's got something today or in the last couple of days. But has people not been ripped off enough by that guy?
Jeez, I know.
I mean, there's a guy that made a book that if the guy's ever seen out in public, there's like a list of people are going to beat the shit out of him. But I never hear that about Vinny.
No,
but I guess that's because we don't beat up women. Never mind, forget it.
You can't hit on women. I went there. I'm jumping right on that,
Oh my gosh.
There, I said it.
I don't hit anybody that's wearing a pantsuit.
The week the ages of rock struck back.
Yeah. Carrying a clutch purse.
No, I don't have anything against Vinny, but the book guy, I would be first in line. I get the first punch. I'm thinking $75 of it, or $175 of his ass. I'm getting it. Or whatever it was.
Even. Yeah. Yep. All right, there you go. Sorry about that. I just had to get one barb in.
All right. Well, that sounds like a good spot to call it a day.
Probably should.
Let's do it.
All right, people, y'all know the drill. agesofrock.com, past episodes, social media links that we don't follow, and peace out. Thanks for listening to the Ages of Rock podcast. If you haven't done so already, be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and most importantly, tell all your friends. Remember, you're never too old to rock. Until the next episode, peace out, folks.